Tim, we came here in the sunshine on April the 1st. We had a fantastic 3 races then to start the season. And now here we are, 27 races later, and it's going to come down to today. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know who's going to be the champion.
No, nobody does, but one thing's for sure, Alan Gow's got his wish for a dramatic scenario with wet conditions. It's very greasy, as we just heard. The track isn't wet in terms of standing water, but it's incredibly slippery. Just standing on the grid, it's very slippery. And these are conditions which will change up the mix. The BMWs will still get off the line very well, but I don't think they'll have the outright grip to hold the Hondas and the NGTC cars behind with their wider tyres. And front-wheel drive is definitely better in the wet, so we'll have to see how it pans out. But it's certainly also good for the Hondas, which are quick in the wet. We remember last time out at Rockingham, Shedden's imperious drive in race 3 to win in the wet, whereas Jason Plato has had certain difficulties in the wet, hasn't always got the setup right. So let's see what happens in the conditions, but it's anybody's guess who's going to win.
Jason Plato second in the championship, just 15 points behind the leader, Gordon Shedden. Plato coming off one of his favourite circuits at Silverstone with 2 victories out of 3. And yet, of course, there was a mechanical that took him out of one of those races. So some bit of bad luck there for Jason Plato. But likewise, Gordon Shedden, he's had some bad... They've all had some bad luck throughout the year.
They've all had a meeting where they haven't scored points. So, you know, the luck evens itself out. But statistically, the odds are in favour of Gordon Shedden, because the driver leading the championship going into the last race has won the championship every year since 2001, apart from once in 2007 when Jason Plato was suffering from the burns he suffered whilst filming for Fifth Gear. So the statistics are on Shedden's side, but on the other hand, Shedden has never won on this track. And Matt Neal has won twice, but Plato has won 7 times on this track. So there's lots of ways you can look at those statistics. But overall, I do think Shedden really is in the driving seat this weekend. He's got that little buffer of points. He is good in the wet. The Honda's working well here. And for the first time this year, the Honda has had a boost increase over its base boost.
But when you come in to potentially winning your first title, Tim, you're stepping into the unknown. You've talked about it earlier in the programme, about the nerves that are going through these guys. You know, Matt Neal, he's won 3 championships. Jason Plato has won 2 championships before, but this is new ground for Gordon Shedden. What did you feel like 20 years ago right now on the grid?
Well, I just felt this is my time, this is my opportunity, I must make the most of it. But the trouble is that Gordon has been in this position before and not won it, and his fear of failure could be the one thing that stops him actually going forward with a will to win. I don't think that'll happen. I think he's very well prepared for this weekend, but his fear is that once again he could lose it, whereas the other 2 have got that security of knowledge of already having won it. So whilst the cards might look in Gordon's favour, he's got the most psychological pressure on him.
Absolutely, absolutely. It came down to the last race last year. Going into that last weekend, there was just 5 points between Matt Neal, Jason Plato and Gordon Shedden, but that was a year ago. And last time here we were at Brands Hatch. It was the Indy circuit, and we had Rob Collard winning the first race. We had Matt Neal winning race 2, and then Jason Plato with that brand new MG6 being victorious. But that was back in April. This is going to be very interesting indeed. Let us not forget what a brilliant qualifying we had yesterday. One of the best sessions of the season yesterday. Tom Onslow-Cole taking the pole position, just 100th of a second off an absolute track record around this circuit that was set by Tom Chilton back in May 2010. Andrew Jordan was pipped to that pole by eventually 900ths of a second by Tom. And Tom, of course, Tim, he's got no ballast on board, where Andrew Jordan here, he's got 18 kilos of ballast in a heavier car, but with more rubber.
Yeah, that's the thing you have to remember, that the championship leaders, the top 5, carry ballast, success ballast into qualifying, and this the first race. So based on that, actually, they've qualified in the order of that you'd expect, with Shedden the slowest, carrying maximum 45 kilos of the title contenders.
But it was very close, just less than 1 second, covering the first 13 people in 90 seconds around this Brands Hatch circuit in qualifying. This is how it panned out. Tom Onslow Cole took his first pole of the 2012 season yesterday, just ahead of Andrew Jordan. Row 2 will be Matt Neal and Rob Collard. Row 3, Jason Plato and Adam Morgan, who did brilliantly yesterday in the Toyota. Row 4, Gordon Shedden deep, with Aaron Williamson in the Team Hard Honda Civic, his first ever weekend in a British touring car. Matt Jackson heads row 5 ahead of Dave Newshan, who was epically committed out the back in free practice. Aaron Smith next up, and then Nick Foster on row 6. Row 7, Will Bratt, Frank Rathall, Lee Wood, Rob Austin, Dan Welch, Ollie Jackson in the Golf, then Jeff Smith with the Honda ahead of Liam Griffin, Neat, James, Hughes, Gillam towards the rear of the field. Gillam driving the Vauxhall Insignia this weekend. But we can catch up with the championship leader, with Gordon Shedden. Gordon, you won last time we had wet races. That was at Rockingham. What's your vibe today?
Yeah, I think it'll be tricky coming from this far back, but car felt good. It was a little bit wet yesterday, so I'll do the best I can, but I'm happy enough with these conditions.
Okay, we'll leave you to concentrate. Thank you, Gordon.
Well, Gordon's been in this championship. This is his 7th season in the championship, and ever since he's been in it, he's been trying to win it. So he sounds very calm in the car, you know, treating it like just another race. But this is his whole life's passion. You know, 24 hours a day, 365 days a week. At some point, he's thinking about racing and winning this championship. And you know, this is an immense weekend for him, his opportunity to win his first title. And, you know, the British Touring Car Championship has defined his career so far, and winning it would define that career. So it's a big moment.
He's taken the most amount of victories so far this season as well, has Gordon Shedden. 8 comparing with Jason Plato's 6, Matt Neal's 4, Rob Collard's trio, Matt Jackson's trio. Matt Jackson, of course, fresh from his victory last time out at Silverstone in the motor-based Ford Focus, as we come around for the first of our 3 British touring car races today. This is going to be round 28, then 29, and then 30. There are 67 points in play here this weekend. 20 points for the victory, 1 for the pole position. That's, of course, going to Tom Onslow Cole. You get a point if you lead across the line in the race, and you only get 1 point per driver. And there is a point for fastest lap. So there's 23 points up for grabs in this particular race. There is Matt Neal. Whoa.
Andrew Jordan is technically still in with a chance of the championship, but he's 61 points behind with only 67 available. He's concentrating on that independence title. That's what he wants. He's 28 points in front of Collard. So that's the battle to watch with the independents.
We're on the grid here for the first of our races here at Brands Hatch. It's very cool indeed. That'll mean that the tyres will take some time to get up to full working temperature, as we are going to get under starters orders. And when the red lights go out, we're going to be racing here at Brands Hatch. Tom Onslow Cole on the pole position gets a brilliant start. Andy Jordan is just left sitting there, spinning his front wheels, and Matt Neal goes into second position. Matt Neal, no, he doesn't. Yes, he's into that second position. Tom Onslow Cole leads it as they stream around Paddock Hill Bend for the first time. Dave Newsham taking to the outside of Paddock Hill Bend. Third is Rob Collard, 4th is Jordan, 5th is then Jason Plato, with Gordon Shedden, the championship leader, right on his tail as we come down to Graham Hill Bend, probably the slipperiest corner on the entire track.
Yeah, there were cars off even on the outlap round this corner, but a great start from Onslow Cole. Matt Neal just did enough to hold second. Collard was challenging, but now he's being challenged by Jordan on the inside.
That could be 3rd position for Andrew Jordan, and indeed it is for the 77. Adam Morgan's gone off on the outside of Surtees, but he'll be joining back at the rear of the field as they all drop down Pilgrim's Drop. Lights ablaze for the pole position man. Tom Onslow Cole, look at Jason Plato defending.
Yeah, he's having to defend from Shedden very early in this race. Remember, we saw problems for the MG at Rockingham in the wet, but they've got grit on it. It looks again like he's struggling in these slippery conditions. He's got Shedden all over the back of him already on this lap.
And there is Aaron Smith in the red Ford Focus right behind Gordon Shedden. Shedden's looking, but Plato's a wily fox out there in the woods. He knows all the tricks in the book.
Yeah, this is letting the first few get away. Aaron Smith, remember, drove very well again at Rockingham, but had a lot of history of bad blood up at Knock Hill with Jason Plato. That's in the 888 race garage there. They're looking on anxiously. Very anxious moments for the team as well as the drivers.
Over the line, completing the first lap, Matt Neal has had a great first lap to catch up to Tom Onslow Cole, who is leading. Third is Jordan, fourth is Collard. Then we've got this Plato, Shedden, Aaron Smith, Dave Newsham, and then it looks like Matt Jackson battle as they come up to Druids again. We ride on board with Gordon Shedden. What do the tyres feel like now?
Well, at the moment they're good. You know, they've got nice, crisp, sharp edges on the treads. The Dunlop wet is a very good one. It's a slightly different compound between the NGTC cars and the Super 2000 cars to suit them, but it's a really good tyre, and we're getting a view here of the new livery on board the MG for this weekend.
As we come out of Surtees and we caress the throttle, and now he puts it to the floor as he goes down over the crest of the hill. Pilgrim's Drop.
I was looking at the MG this morning and the BMW. The BMW, interestingly, has a map switch on the steering wheel so that in the wet they can turn the power down a little bit and avoid wheel spin. And Tom Onslow Cole used that. Moment from Plato over the curve. He's run wide. Shedden's up the inside.
And Shedden goes through, and Dave Newsham will have an opportunity to put his foot in the door as they come through Sheen at this second lap. So Gordon Shedden now up to 5th position, and Dave Newsham, who was epic out the back in free practice, has got a hell of a lot of momentum with that Vauxhall Vectra. There goes Jordan, he's in 3rd, 4th then is Collard, 5th is Gordon Shedden, and look at the gap, Tim, that he's managed to put into Jason Plato in just a couple of corners.
Yeah, look, Plato looks like the car, I mean, I don't know, but to me the car looks too stiff. He's teetering around the corners, and when he goes over the curbs, it launches the car. Now we've got Matt Neal through on Onslow Cole for 1st place.
And Onslow Cole is going to fight back as Matt Neal takes the lead, and Andrew Jordan has caught up as well to the S2000 BMW. So it's the Works Honda from the BMW, from the Pertec Honda in 3rd position, and this is the manoeuvre.
Across the line, Matt Neal looks to the outside, then at the last minute dives up the inside, uses the superior braking and tyre width of the Honda to just get up the inside. And this is the pattern of the race that I thought we'd see, with the BMW getting off initially, but then the NGTC cars having more grip in these conditions, and the Honda is the best of that bunch in these conditions.
And that's exemplified by the fact that Andrew Jordan has done the best lap on the last lap. And there is Tony Gillam having a spin with the Vauxhall Insignia that he has purchased off John Thorne. Back with the leaders, it's Neal from Onslow Cole, from then Andrew Jordan. 4th is Rob Collard, and he's going to be under big pressure soon from Gordon Shedden.
Yeah, but behind these three, escaping, there's Collard, 3.9 seconds high. And this is Plato still under massive pressure from Newsham. Plato's got these cars queuing up behind him, and he doesn't want to lose any positions because he'll be losing points with every place.
And Newsham goes through into Sterling, and he goes through. That's cheeky, isn't it? And so does Aaron Smith. Surely the lighter weight of the S2000 car was helping them there.
Well, that was good opportunist driving, and both Newsham and Aaron Smith giving a lot of room to Plato. They didn't lean on him, they didn't compromise his championship position. And very concerned mum there, that's Jason Plato's mum, and she's seeing his boy slip back in these conditions, and Matt Jackson is now looking.
As Plato comes over the line in 8th position, Matt Jackson right on his tail, therefore in 9th, and 8th position is just going to be 8 points for Jason Plato, as we've now got Andrew Jordan up into 2nd position. It's a Honda 1-2, Matt Neal on maximum points, 20 at the moment, as it's a bit of a slide through that left-hander by Andrew Jordan. He's not afraid of that after his rallycross career. He was British rallycross junior champion a couple of years back, and Tom Onslow Cole is not letting go. Well, we've got the wise owl at the front, Tim. Here is the man leading this race, Matt Neal, who made his debut in this British Touring Car Championship 21 years ago.
Yeah, and he's still suffering with that hand injury. I saw an anguished look on his face after qualifying. I thought it was disappointment at his qualifying, but it wasn't. It was pain from his hand. So these wet conditions where you have lighter hands on the wheel will actually suit him better. He's not getting the same forces. The cars don't go over the curves with such aggression, so at least that makes it lighter for him. And, you know, he's out in front now, and were, for the sake of argument, Shedden to have a non-finish and Plato to finish well down, Matt Neal could be right back in the thick of this championship.
Matt Neal is 31 points behind his teammate Gordon Shedden in this championship. 8th position at the moment for the 99. Jason Plato, Matt Jackson right on his tail. They were the two victors from Silverstone just a fortnight ago. That's Collard and Shedden going 3 shots. 4th and 5th position. Let's have a look at Shedden's lap times. They were 0.8 of a second quicker than Rob Collard on the last lap. This lap they are just completing. Gordon Shedden is just a quarter of a second ahead, as Dave Newsham is still there in that 6th position, ahead of Aaron Smith, fresh from his first British Touring Car Championship podium at Silverstone in the first race of the day. And as I say it, the Dubliner goes through ahead of Newsham. Already been a 2-time winner this year has Dave Newsham. Aaron Smith in the mood. Back with the leaders, it's still Neal from Jordan, from Onslow Cole, then a bit of a gap. Then there's Collard 4th, Shedden then in 5th position, and Newsham making it stick as Ollie Jackson has gone off at Druids. Ollie Jackson has gone off at Druids. Let's have a replication of what we had in April.
No, we don't want. It's just gone straight on there. It's so greasy, and the front-wheel drive cars, I don't know if Ollie does brake with his left foot or not, but if you brake with your left foot and you lock the engine or lock the brakes, you lock the engine up and you can't get back. But I tell you what, these leaders haven't dropped Onslow Cole. Onslow Cole is still in here, and in fact Jordan is now all over the back of Matt Neal.
Well, here's an interesting scenario for Honda as we hear that the safety car is coming out, so this is going to neutralise the advantage that this leading trio has got over the 4th and 5th position guys, Collard and Shedden. These guys will know on the radio immediately that the safety car is coming out.
But they still race, Toby, until they get to a marshal's post with the safety car board out, which they have now. The safety car boards go out from the start-finish line in both directions round the track. So they race until they get to the first board, and they're there now as the recovery vehicle goes out to pull Ollie Jackson's car out of the gravel. Shouldn't take too long. The Porsche Panamera there out as the safety car, and this will allow the whole group to close up. The first 3 will be caught up by Shedden and Collard and Aaron Smith and Newsham. Plato has a bit of time to recover, but it'll also let Jackson rattle up behind him.
Okay, the rest of the guys coming through your shot. There is Aaron Williamson. He's in 14th position, and a baptism of fire as your first British Touring Car race in these damp conditions. There is Ollie Jackson. He was playing around with the suspension settings in free practice yesterday. He ended up with it a little bit too stiff underneath him. Now then, Gordon Shedden, he's leading the championship. He's in 4th position at the moment, so 4th position for Gordon would bag him 13 points. Gordon, if you've got just a moment, what does it feel like? It looks so slippery out there.
Yeah, very slippy in other places. Quite difficult to get your head round, but just trying to be smooth, trying to keep it calm and score some points.
Okay, well the leaders are a lot closer to you. Are you going to have a go?
Car feels good. Car feels good. I'll go as fast as I can.
Okay.
Well, we're unseen by us. Shedden had got past Collard because he was behind Collard, but he got past him on that last lap. So he's got the measure of those BMWs, and obviously Onslow Cole's the next one ahead. But certainly Andrew Jordan seems to have the pace at the moment. Remember, he's got less weight than Matt Neal. Here we are off the start, on board. Listen to the revs. bogged down. He got a little bit of wheel spin, let off the throttle, the car bogged down. That let Matt Neal go through and Rob Collard, and he dropped to 4th place. So difficult to get the revs and the clutch and the throttle control absolutely right in these conditions, especially with a turbocharged engine, because it builds boost as it goes under load.
And especially here at Brands Hatch with the hill, you don't want to give it too much wheel spin and you'll be pulled magnetically towards the pit wall.
Yeah, but he's recovered well, and he looks to have the quickest car of that front group at the moment. I wonder what his feeling is towards, do I go for a win? How hard do I press Matt Neal? He's going for the championship. They supply our cars. There's so many things there. I mean, I think if he could get through cleanly, he would. But I don't see Matt making a mistake.
Now we are going to get some extra laps added to the race distance now that we've had the safety car conditions, as the Neal family look on. Oh, nervous times for them. They had all of this 12 months ago, and now they've got to go through it again. But the tyres will have a bit of a break. They won't lose too much heat.
No, they won't. They won't. In fact, it'll give them a little bit of time to recover, because there's Ollie Jackson's car. He's out. As he started it up, it looks like he's going to drive it back rather than be towed, which means there'll be some gravel on the track. It's probably more grip on the gravel than there is on the tarmac at the moment. He can have a little race back with the instant unit, but that's going to be Ollie out of it. So hopefully he'll get back. Yes, the leaders are going down towards Hawthorns, so he should be back in the pit lane because he'll take the shortcut, I think. And yes, he has, and we could go back to racing at the end of this lap.
So then, the championship at the moment means that Gordon Shedden will have a 5-point addition to his championship lead, going from 15 to 20 points. If we put the flag out now, Gordon at the moment is in 4th position. His arch rival, Jason Plato, just going through your shot there with the new livery this weekend. He is in 8th position in this race. But the leader is Matt Neal, and he's looking to get 21 points, maybe even 22, if he gets the fastest lap at the moment. The fastest lap at the moment goes to Andrew Jordan. He set a 1:45.0 on the second lap of this race, as we are going to be back racing in just a moment's time. Neal leads from Andrew Jordan with the blue Honda, then Tom Onslow-Cole. He's looking for his first victory of this 2012 season as we get foot to the floor and we're racing again. The headlights pierce through the murk, and Tom Onslow-Cole has got a great drive up behind Andrew Jordan. Gordon Shedden in 4th, then we got Rob Collard in 5th position. As they come down Paddock Hill Bend for the first time, they've got to relearn where the exact braking point is again.
Well, the one thing is that these conditions... Oh, big slide there! Well held by Aaron Smith. Not sure if he had any contact, but he held it very well and has recovered. But he's dropped back behind Newsham and he's looking to get some revenge, which he does very... Oh, a little tap maybe, but they all kept it together.
So Newsham has had to get out of the throttle, and that has meant that he's lost 2 positions to Smith and to Plato. So Plato now up to 7th place. That's just another point. That'll be 9 points for Plato as Neal leads with the Honda in 1st and 2nd position. Down the hill they come. Looking at that splitter, it's running so close to the ground, but the grip is really in the Honda's hands around this 2.3-mile Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit, wet or dry.
Yeah, it's a brilliant circuit, but the conditions have stayed very similar. There's Jeff Smith looking up the inside of Nick Foster. Jeff Smith in the fourth of the Hondas. The second Pertec car has been running very strongly as well this weekend, just emphasising how good that car is round here.
So, Jason Plato, a lot of work to do. There is Nick Foster and Jeff Smith. In front of them is Frank Rathall. We saw a fireworks show of smoke coming out of the exhaust in qualifying yesterday on the Dynajet Toyota, but it was fortunately not a blown engine. It was just a mistake by one of the mechanics putting one of the breather pipes in the wrong place, so that was sorted in no time at all. Rathall, the pole position man from Snetterton, back in the summer. Remember those heady summer days, Tim?
Yeah, it seems a long time ago now. It's blooming cold here this weekend, but the racing is hot as Newsham runs out wide onto the painted curb. Jeff Smith again looking up the inside of Foster. Can he squeeze it in? There's a bit of contact. Foster just gets the nose across. There's Aaron Williamson making his debut in the BTCC. He absolutely shocked everybody with his qualifying pace. An absolutely brilliant performance by Aaron. And he's enjoying this racing as he hopes to step up full-time to the BTCC next year. Matt
Neal continues to lead this race, and he brilliantly did a fastest lap of the race last time round, so he's going to get an extra point for that. He's done a 44.8. That's a couple of tenths quicker than the previous fastest lap that was set by Andrew Jordan on lap 2. As they come through the murk, there is Jason Plato still in that 7th position. His mum cannot breathe down there in the 888 garage. But Jason, if anybody knows how to really drive and race, it's Jason Plato. He has had 74 British touring car victories ahead of Matt Neal, who's had 47 British touring car victories. That is just an enormous number.
It is, but looking at Jason's mum, you'd think he was on for his first ever win, wouldn't you? But I'm sure it's worse for the family and friends watching than it is for the drivers. You know, the drivers are in their own world, they're in their own zone. The driving is the best part of the job that they do. It's their favourite part. It's where they're on their own and doing their own thing, and it's very much the best place to be.
The last point scorer just going through his shot there was Herefordshire's Lee Woods in his Vauxhall Vectra. A great battle with Will Bratt in front of him with Rob Austin's Audi. Rob Austin, by the way, he's just a couple of places further back, just out of the points as the leaders come back up to Druids. And another fastest lap, Tim, by Matt Neal. That is authoritative and brave.
Interesting. I mean, I think maybe he cooled his tyres off a little bit after the safety car and then really went, because he was struggling to stay in front of Jordan just before the safety car, but just cooling his tyres off, he's really got his head down and got away. But we've still got a reasonable way to go in this race, and there's a possibility tyres can start to wear towards the end of the race. But yeah, excellent drive by Matt Neal so far. All the lights on the cars. It's not to intimidate the cars in front at this point. It's because if you're running on wet tyres, you have to have the lights on.
That was why Chris James got disqualified out of one of the Rockingham races. His lights weren't working as we're riding on board with Matt Neal. Now we're going to have the starey eyes and a quick nervous look into the mirror there.
Yeah, just checking. You tend to check the gap to the car behind at the sort of same place each time round on the lap, 2 or 3 times, just to check that the gap is the same. But they haven't dropped Onslow Cole. A very impressive run by Onslow Cole in that BMW's. Really kept them more than honest.
Another couple of laps have been added to race distance. It's now 17, not the 15, as the leaders come into clearways and through the Clark curve. There's 4th position man, Gordon Shedden, on course to take 13 points from this race, but he's got some nervous laps here at Brands Hatch this afternoon, and that is Aaron Smith, who's got ahead of Rob Collard, and Aaron Smith, who's going to be getting ahead of Gordon Shedden as he takes 4th position away from the championship leader. Shedden giving him a lot of space.
Well, you can see he was on a bit of a mission. Shedden may come back up inside if there's enough room there, but he's not going to try anything too risky. Well, they both run wide there, actually, or they could be using the wide line, which is the wet line round Druids, and square the corner off by going out wide and then coming down, all searching out for the best part of the grippiest track. But yeah, Aaron Smith on a bit of a mission, great driver in the wet, had a fantastic second half of the year.
Oh, on the brakes into 30s. Look at it, a lot more water on the outside of the track there, Tim.
Yeah, but sometimes where there's on the outside of the track is where the tarmac is less polished and where there's less tyre rubber on the track, and there's very often more grip round the outside. 2nd and 3rd now, Jordan under big pressure from Onslow Cole.
Big pressure, Tom Onslow Cole. He did the fastest sector in the middle sector on the last lap that anybody has done in this race so far, and that is how he caught up to Andrew Jordan. He came over the line, 8 tenths behind him, and here we are, Tim, and half a lap, he's touching him.
He is incredible. A really good lap from Onslow Cole. He's really got that BM working. I suspect he's been playing with that adjustment, that map switch on the steering wheel to control the power off the tight corners so it doesn't spin the rear wheels up. Taking a different line, look, different line into clearways. He's actually lost a bit of pace there, I think.
So then the S2000 car still chasing the NGTC car, the next generation touring car specifications that are underneath the Hondas that are first and second, but narrower tyres, less rubber on the road for Tom Onslow Cole. Now here we are, Tim, we start lap 12 of 17. Will the rubber of Tom Onslow Cole be degrading and getting down to the canvas?
Well, there doesn't appear to be much difference in the deterioration of the tyres between either the Super 2000 or the NGT. That's Sophie Plato, Jason's wife, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of difference. I think what we're seeing here is the drivers just searching out the best lines, the best, the grippiest parts of the track, but the track hasn't deteriorated. The tyres have stood up really well on both types of car.
Plato back down to 8th position now. He was in 7th, he's now back down to 8th as Matt Neal, the man third in the title chase coming into this race, is continuing to lead. And Andrew Jordan, I didn't expect this, that Andrew would just drop back a little and Tom would still have the pace at this point. This is great driving from these two youngsters.
Yeah, and of course, you know, there'll be people hoping that they don't finish. Jason's team will be hoping that these two maybe have a bit of contact somewhere and they can gain a couple of places and the points to go with it without having to pass anybody. So everybody looks at these situations differently.
Andrew Jordan, 23 years old. Tom Onslow Cole, 25 years old. Tom has had 7 British Touring Car victories. Andrew has had 4, the last one being at Snetterton in August. There is Aaron Smith. What form he has come into in the latter part of this season. Smith is in 4th. There is Gordon Shedden in 5th. We are with Gordon Shedden, still looking at that bright rear reversing light that seems to be on the rear of the Motorbase Ford Focus as we come over the start line once more as we start lap 13 and into the treacherous Paddock Hill bend. It seems all wrong, but it's great to watch.
Yeah, you have no idea just how steep that is from the on-board or the trackside cameras. It's really, really steep there, and it's when you walk around it, it's incredible. Oh, Frank Rathall's gone wide. That's at Paddock Hill bend, but he's rejoined. He was in 10th place. Looks like he's slipped back as far as down to Andy Neaton's 16th.
The leader's going to Surtees. It's continuing to just rain a little here, is it? There's no chance I can see that this racetrack will dry up between now and the end of the day. I remind you, we've got another 2 British Touring Car races. This is the first of 3 that we've got here on ITV4 and ITV4 HD. There is Shedden, still in 5th position. Smith is away with this one. Shedden has now got to keep Collard behind him.
Yeah, that's somebody he probably didn't want to see in his rear-view mirrors, because we all know what a charger and a racer Rob Collard is. And, I mean, if he shows his nose down the inside, I dare say that Shedden will have to have discretion, be the better part of valour and get out of the way. But it's been interesting. I mean, Matt Neal's times have dropped off by, well, he's done the last lap of 46.4, which is a couple of seconds off where he was. So I suspect there is some degradation in the tyres. Everybody lapping a couple of seconds off.
So we are going to start lap 14 of 17 in just a moment's time. Rob Collard will desperately want to get past Gordon Shedden just to get a couple more points in the overall standings, but in the Independence Trophy he's got his teammates Tom Onslow Cole in front of him, and but Andrew Jordan, he'll be winning the Independence race here, so that'll be great news for the Pertec Honda squad in the Independence Trophy Championship, which is still up for grabs. The British Touring Car Manufacturers Championship, that has already been wrapped up. That was done and dusted at Silverstone. It going to Honda Team Dynamics ahead of MG 888. Okay then. Nervous times for everybody. It's been good, clean racing, I have to say, so far today, Tim, but I'm very surprised that Plato hasn't got just a couple of more places in his pocket.
It's not for lack of trying, Toby. It's not for lack of trying. You know that. We've seen, you know, Plato drive from 20th to win at Silverstone. He has all the ingredients, but, you know, it's a new car. This, oh, here we go, Collard looking down the inside. Oh, don't want contact here. This is Hawthorne's very fast. 4th gear corner in the wet, but Shedden holds on to it, and if Newsham gets behind Collard, it'll give him a little bit of breathing space. But no, Plato, the MG, a new car, built in a hurry. They haven't got the same kind of experience with that car perhaps that Honda did, with a bit more testing prior to the start of the season, and they just never hit the sweet spot at the moment in the wet, and that's what's holding him back.
Well, many people wanted it to rain, like Team Dynamics and Honda coming into this day here today, but Triple Eight, they weren't doing the rain dance last night. But it ain't over till it's over, as we now start lap 15 here at Brands Hatch. I remind you, Neil leads by a second ahead of Andrew Jordan. There are the two Hondas, and Andrew Jordan not letting Matt Neal get away with this one. But likewise, as I said a moment ago, Andrew doesn't want to risk anything so far as he is concerned in the Independence Trophy, as we ride on board with our swivel cam inside the cockpit. As we were discussing in qualifying yesterday, reminds me of the Bathurst.
Yeah, it does, certainly does. Great shots of the onboard driving from Andrew Jordan, but the lap time's now dropping off to 3.5 seconds slower than their fastest. Newsham looking up the inside. He'll definitely get this.
He goes through, and then he cuts it back, and they barge at each other. Rob Collard is getting white on the yellow, there's yellow on the white, and now it's a drag race between the two S2000 cars. Collard has just got ahead as he comes down Pilgrim's Drop. I remind you, this is 6th up for grabs.
Yeah, that's just what Gordon Shed wanted to see, was the two cars behind scrapping for position while he tries to get away, but Newsham up the inside into Westfield, needs to hold it in, otherwise Rob will cut back. Good driving by Newsham, he holds the car tight in, blocks that inside switchback, and now he'll set off after Shed.
Great driving from Dave Newsham. Let us not forget, he was on the pole position when we were here at the beginning of the season, admittedly at the Indy circuit, but he has been a stellar driver this year on a very, very limited budget, as Dave Newsham in the yellow Vauxhall Vectra there. Behind these two who are tussling is still Jason Plato in 8th place in the Triple Eight car.
Yeah, he's in a secure 8th, he's not got any pressure, he'll be absolutely praying that these two in front get tangled up. He'll be willing them to have a bit more argy-bargy, and they're side by side through paddock. Oh, Plato's wide there. Plato was very wide as well. They all ran wide there. The track's gone into this greasy stage where it's really, really difficult to stay on board. Look, they're all running wide.
And there's oil, Tim. Look at it at Druids. You can see the oil on the racetrack just as they came round there. We've been told it's been dropping from Matt Jackson's motor-based Ford Focus, and you could see it on the racetrack. Maybe there's a little bit of it on the inside of Graham Hill Bend, and indeed, there is Matt Jackson who's come into the pits. That is double treacherous.
Yeah, but oil on this kind of greasy track, well, is just really lethal. And you can see it in some places, the yellowness glistening through in the water, but very difficult to spot. And we saw the cars suddenly running wide at Paddock and Druids, and that was the cause of it.
It's a little bit clearer for these guys as they are coming out of the back. You can see not a dry line, but a less wet line. But as Tim says, it's damp, and it's like rally drivers doing the Col de Chirini on the Monte Carlo. Do I take slick? Do I take snow tires? Do I take studded tires? It's a dilemma. It's that halfway house at the moment, but it's now these guys are earning their money.
Is there a tyre for a greasy track with oil on it? I don't think there is really, is there?
There's an opening for you, Tim.
A gap in the market.
Okay then, just one more lap to go when Matt Neal comes over the line. There is Aaron Smith. He's still in that 4th position. Then we got Shedden, we got Collard, and then we've got Newsham Collard. So there's been a change there. Newsham has lost a position. Newsham has gone down a slot to 7th by my reckoning. Meanwhile, the last lap for this leading trio. What a great drive from Matt Neal. He got knocked off his motorcycle a couple of weeks ago in a road traffic accident, and his right thumb is not well at all. He can't even pick up a mug of tea. There's no grip there with his right hand,
but apparently he can pick up a pint of lager.
Oh, can he now? Oh, well, it deadens the pain, they say.
Exactly. No,
an evening corrective.
Yeah, a great champion's drive. Let's not forget he is the reigning champion, at least until the end of the day. And, you know, this has been a great drive by him. He is not out of it. Anything could have happened behind him, and he wanted to give himself the best opportunity to capitalise if it did. So, a good drive by Matt, really excellent. And good drive by Jordan as well, and Onslow Cole.
As we're with Matt Neal, we're just coming round with a couple more corners to go here for this opening race. Nervous times, but Matt Neal can cope with it. I remember, as I said a moment ago, he made his debut in the British Touring Car Championship at Silverstone at the British Grand Prix meeting back in July 1991 at the height of the Mansell days. And the British Touring Car Championship has captured the imagination of the British public ever since, and today is exemplifying it. Andrew Jordan's got a lot of work to try and keep his second position away from Tom Onslow Cole as Matt Neal comes back into view of the Team Dynamics guys on the pit wall. He comes out of the final corner to win his 48th British Touring Car Championship race. What a way to start the day for Honda Yuasa Racing and Team Dynamics. Second is Pertec Honda with Andrew Jordan. eBay BMW in third. Aaron Smith gets fourth position. Shedden fifth. The championship leader ahead of Collard and Newsham, and Jason Plato is eighth on a very, very subdued garage down there at Triple Eights.
Yeah, an absolute side-by-side photo finish for Collard and Newsham. In fact, Collard got it by 1900ths of a second and rattles off. I think that's at Clearways on the... Is that Clearways? It is. It's at Clearways. There was oil down there, but he's lost it, so he's gone off 200 yards from the flag.
Oh, so close and yet so far. Matt Neal takes 20 points winning here, but he doesn't. He takes 21 points because he got the fastest lap, Tim. So, and he led. So he's got 22. So that is really turning things around. We'll have the championship table in a few moments' time. What a brave drive, Tim. I mean, driving when you're injured, driving under pressure, driving in the wet, driving when there's oil on the racetrack. He's going to sleep tonight, isn't he?
Yeah, he will. He may not have slept too much last night, but, you know, of all the guys, he actually did look the coolest, I thought, this morning, and, you know, he's proved that with his driving today. He wasn't perhaps as quick, and I think he was struggling with his hand more at Rockingham when it was wet, but he really was the class of the field in that race, and he is still carrying, remember, 27 kilos of ballast.
Now, Gordon Shedden, fifth position for him. He'll be pretty happy with that, I'd say.
Yeah, he will lose weight from 45 kilos back to 9, so he'll have a faster car for the second race.
Matt Neal has won the first British Touring Car Championship race here today, and he won it half a second ahead of Andrew Jordan, who has taken a maximum score in the Independence Trophy. Tom Onslow Cole from pole is back on the podium in thirds. Aaron Smith, fourth for Redstone Racing. Gordon Shedden in fifth. He will take 11 points. For him, a little bit further back, but he was ninth. And then Jeff Smith in 10th, just ahead of Lee Woods' Vauxhall Vectra. Adam Morgan, he had an off early in the race, but he managed to recover to 12th. Andy Neat in 13th. Aaron Williamson scores his first 2 British Touring Car Championship points in 14th, with Nick Foster in 15th scoring the last point. Dan Welch had to come into the pits. He came back out and got 16th. Rob Austin, Chris James, Liam Griffin, Tony Hughes in his last weekend as a British touring car driver. Now then, this is the juicy bit. This is Gordon Shedden extending his championship lead from 15 Foster rounding out the top 10. It's getting very close indeed. My face, and Chris Evans has hit the nail absolutely on the head, hasn't he, Tim? You see the amount of people here, and You know, I have memories of watching the Formula One Grand Prix here when Mansell won in '85 and then '87. It really is something special.
It is. I mean, I grew up around here as a small lad in sandals and shorts. I was hanging on to the wicker fencing watching cars and motorbikes racing, and for me it's a natural home, and I love this place. And the Grand Prix circuit here is one of the best natural circuits anywhere in the world, and as Dave Newsham said, the drivers love it. And although he would prefer to be driving it in the dry, it certainly makes for great racing in the wet.
There's Andrew Jordan, but it's Matt Neal who will start from the pole position. He will have those 45 kilos of ballast on board with him, but he's on the crest of a wave after winning the first race of 3 here today at Brands Hatch, and that now makes it a tally of 5 victories for Matt Neal. And indeed, it's been quite a barren patch, because it was all the way back at Croft when Matt Neal last won a British touring car race. So it's been some barren 4 weekends at Snetterton and Knockhill, at Rockingham and at Silverstone. So Matt Neal will start from the pole position here for this round. 29 of 30. We're coming to the crescendo here in 2012. He'll start ahead of Andrew Jordan. The second row is Tom Onslow-Cole and Aaron Smith, who went brilliantly in the first race. Gordon Shedden, he heads row 3 ahead of Rob Collard, who Paul O'Neill caught up with. Dave Newsham, he's on row 4, and right behind him Jason Plato, with it all to do here in this race too. Will Bratt on row 5 with Jeff Smith, Lee Wood and Adam Morgan on row 6. Row 7, Andy Neates, Aaron Williamson. Williamson will start from the back of the grid. He had to start this warming up lap from the pit lane. Nick Foster, Dan Welch, Austin, and then Chris James. Griffin, Hughes, Frank Rathall, just going into the gravel in the last couple of hundred yards of that first race. Matt Jackson, he had an oil cooler problem. Ollie Jackson, Tony Gillam, they make up row 12. So I was explaining how it's been a barren period for Matt Neal. He last was winning at Croft, and he's won the first race here today. He's on the pole position. We're riding on board with him. Matt, things must feel pretty good at the moment.
Toby, again, got full points on both Jason and Flash, so it ain't over yet, and I'm not giving up, mate.
What's the grip like at the moment? Because it's raining a lot more from the first race we had earlier. Is it going to be even more treacherous?
A little bit. There's a little bit of standing water I've seen in a couple of places, but it's going to be pretty similar. It might help us because we actually get the water actually cools the blocks on the wet tyres a little bit. So I was hoping to be a bit wetter.
And how's your hand?
It's good, mate. Ready to rock.
Okay, we'll leave you. Have a good race. And you can see him, Tim, left foot braking there, trying to get some heat into those tyres.
Yeah, by left foot braking while you're going round, you put the heat from the discs right through the wheel into the carcass of the tyre. It helps generate heat, and obviously gets the brakes ready for action on the very first lap as well. But yeah, I think, you know, typical Matt Neal, cometh the hour, cometh the man, and here we are at the championship finale, and Matt is on good form. And it was interesting to hear Steve Neal say on the grid that he felt that Gordon was a little bit tight in that first race. Now he can afford to be because he's got that points lead, but not too much. So this is going to be an important race, as they all are at this stage.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, as the Australians would say, it's the truth table, the championship table. It doesn't matter in which order you add up the points, they still come to the same number at the end. So it just feels like it comes down to these last 3 races. And I remind you that Gordon Shedden has an 18-point lead over Jason Plato, and Matt Neal just now 2 back of Jason Plato. So also, Tim, as Steve Neal said, Honda looking for a 1-2 in the championship.
Very much so. They feel that's what they deserve. They feel they've built the best car this year. They feel they've been hampered unfairly by the success of the car, meaning they haven't had the turbo boost increases until this race all season. But you know, it's not over yet. Let's see what Plato does. A completely transformed car in terms of setup for this race. Is it going to work, isn't it? We saw on the very first lap of the first race, that's Tim Plato, Jason's dad, we saw on the first lap of the last race he was struggling. We'll know very quickly if they've got it right.
Jason Plato is starting from 8th position. He's on the right-hand side of the grid here as we come up to the start of race 2 here at Brands Hatch. Round 29 of 30 in the Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship for 2012. The lights go out. Does Andy Jordan get a good start? No, he doesn't. It's going to be Tom Onslow Cole who rockets into the lead. Onslow Cole takes the lead. Rob Collard, his teammate, is trying to duck and dive and weave and see if he can get past the two Works Hondas. But look at Aaron Smith. He's going around the outside. Will he be able to outbrake Matt Neal into Druids? He's going to have a go around the outside line. And that's Rob Collard who's been spun around. And he collects Will Bratt and Adam Morgan. But they push him out of the way.
Well, it was a great start at the front. It was Jordan that got the poor start. He got held back terribly, and it's Onslow Cole that's got to the front again.
Jason Plato's up 2 places already from 8th to 6th position as they go into Surtees, and Jason Plato looking to get past Andy Jordan. Andy Jordan started from the front row of the grid. He spun the wheels, he couldn't quite get it off the line rather than Matt Neal, and of course the rocket starting BMW, we know that will always win the start line race, and it is the BMW of Tom Onslow Cole who started 3rd, and he's now leading.
Yeah, but his teammate Collard racing back to the safety car boards. That's the Will Bratt car that was also involved in the incident, being pushed away, and it'll take a safety car to sort this out. But great start by Onslow Cole and a great start by Aaron Smith as well, continuing his good form in the first race.
So, safety car coming out. They are just about to remove the stricken, stranded Rob Collard BMW, whilst his teammate Tom is leading this race. Collard, that's not going to be good for the Independence Team trophy, because eBay BMW are leading it by just 2 points ahead of Pertec Honda, having reduced it by 3 points in the first race of the day. So it's now down to see what Nick Foster can do.
And also it's not good for the Independent Drivers Trophy either, which Jordan is leading from Collard as well. So a bad event, bad race for Collard and West Surrey in this race.
Okay, so the safety car has collected these guys. This is Jason Plato starting from 8th.
Yeah, you see Jordan moving across. He's got a poor start. He's been swamped by everybody on the inside and the outside. Jason gets to the inside, just stays on the inside. Watch in front. There's bunching going up into Druids. Jason's looking up the inside of Jordan as well and gets there. And then in front, oh, look at that. Look, oh, into the back of Shedden. I don't know if he... Oh, I couldn't see what happened there, where there was a bit of a concertina action there, but certainly just a lot of bunching into Druids. This is the other angle. Watch Collard's car. Yeah, he gets hit from the back by Shedden, who in turn, I think, had a little push from Plato in the concertina effect going into the corner.
And Will Bratt must have broken a steering arm there as he hit the back of Collard. Adam Morgan had nowhere to go, as Dan Welch took to the edge of the AstroTurf and the grasscrete on the outside there, as Collard's car doesn't get going. Very odd. How very odd. I'm surprised.
Well, moving that car out of the way. I'm not sure if the rear wheel on the left is still connected properly, but that could be the problem. Rob's advising a little bit. But let's see if we can talk to Shedden and find out what his view of the accident was.
Gordon, it's Toby and Tim up here in the commentary box. He had a bit of a nudge there from behind.
Yeah, I mean, I basically just got rammed on the way into Druids. Fairly hard hit at, and that was enough to kind of to take Collard out. Not my doing, I'm afraid, that one. Somebody nailed me from behind.
There was a bit of oil dropped earlier. Is it equally as slippery, if not more, than race 1?
Yeah, it is pretty slippy, but there's now a lot of spray as well, because obviously the rain's falling a lot more. So, yeah, it's very, very tricky out here.
Okay, thank you, Gordon.
Yeah, as we suspected, it was the concertina effect. This is on board the shed. He immediately gets up the inside of Jordan. That's a great start. Thinking, okay, I've got to the inside, I've got past, nothing I can do about Aaron Smith on the outside. Let me hold my position on the inside as we go through paddock. stay on the inside, get back across. Oh, there's Collard, gets in front, round the outside, braking now, and then bang. Oh, you actually heard the bang from behind. And of course, when you touch the back of a rear-wheel drive BMW, it will spin. There's nothing you can do about it.
It looks like, Tim, they're going to leave the Collard car there. They're now working on getting Will Bratt's car out of the way. It's on the left-hand side from the driver's point of view between Druids down to Graham Hill Bend. So that now means, of course, with Collard out, Andrew Jordan is the Independence Trophy winner.
Yeah, well, that's congratulations. Oh, there's Collard. You know, that was what he was left racing for, and through no fault of his own, he's out. I don't know if the team have told Andrew Jordan yet. I suspect they've worked it out and told him, but if they haven't, we can tell him the news ourselves.
Andrew, it's Toby. Rob is out of the race. You are the Independence Trophy champion.
Yeah, great news, real relief, but I've got a team's championship to win now for Bertat Racing, so I'll save the celebrations for tonight for the driver's crown, but let's win this Independence team.
Okay, well, we can see the twinkle in your eye, we can see the smile on your face. You're fifth at the moment. You've got Shedden in front of you and Plato behind you. A lot of work still to do.
Well, he won't worry about that poor start now, and now he can just concentrate on winning for the team. But means he must finish and not take too many risks as well. But he's in a good position. He's behind Shedden and Neil, the two other Hondas. Be interesting to see, though. We've got two Super 2000 cars leading this race. Onslow Cole in the BMW that was super competitive in the first race. Even though he got past, he did hang on really well to Jordan and to Neil, and it could be easier for him this time. He's certainly in the cat seat, as it were. But Aaron Smith also very good.
Well, Mike Jordan a lot happier than when we last saw him on the pit wall at Silverstone, when there was a coming together between his son Andrew and Andy Neat down at Maggots and Beckett's. But happier days here in the wet conditions at Brands Hatch. Now, with Tom Onslow Cole leading this race, Tim, and doing a podium finish last time out, he has gone up a position in the championship. He's now ahead of Matt Jackson, who didn't score. And Onslow Cole, you know, he's got some form here. He was on the podium when we came here for the first weekend in the 10-weekend championship. So he likes it. It goes well. Local lad.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I say, the BMW well suited to the sort of fast and flowing nature of this circuit. There is some difference, obviously, in the weights of these cars, because the success balance they're carrying are based on the first 5 positions from the first race. So Matt Neal, having won the race, actually is 18 kilos heavier than he was in the first race. Andrew Jordan is 27 kilos heavier than he was. He's carrying 36 kilos. Onslow Cole is 27 kilos heavier, whereas Gordon Shedden is 36 kilos lighter. He only has 9 kilos on board, so quite a difference there.
I wish I was lighter.
I would love to be lighter. If I could gain and lose 9 kilos just with the blink of the hat, I think I'd be quite happy. Although I always say that motor racing is the second best form of exercise, Toby.
And what is the first?
We won't discuss it. It's a family show.
Well, the fans are here, and they've been caught on the big screens here at Brands Hatch. The faithful that come to every single round of the championship. And I think they finally realised that if they tow that car downhill, it'll be a lot easier than towing it uphill. Because gravity is free. We discovered that in hill climbing.
Yeah, I'm not going to do a Steve Neal and say anything whatsoever about those poor marshals standing out there in this weather trying to clear what is a difficult situation, because the car's obviously got suspension damage, but they're doing the best that they can. So let's just give them a bit of time, see what happens here.
And let's, I think the front left is in quite a bit of mess. As you can see, the steering is working on the right-hand side. But these are frustrating times if you're in a race and you just want to get on with it. You've been thinking about nothing else, not only all year, Tim, but for the last 2 weeks at Silverstone, particularly Jason Plato. You said it earlier, 365 days a year, there's nothing else entering your mind. Get on with it. It's so difficult.
It is frustrating because your adrenaline is up, you are ready to go racing, and you know there's nothing you can do but just go round. You're trying to keep your tyres warm, you're looking at the gauges, perhaps talking to the team, Just, you know, thinking about the restart, looking at the incident itself and trying to work out how long it'll be before they move it. He'll drive past this and think, okay, they'll probably get that round the corner by the time we get round. We could be restarting ahead of this lap. So let's make sure I'm in a position to restart in the best possible way, get the car ready and get on the back of the car in front if we do go to a restart.
So the Audi being towed out of the way. The Audi is being towed out of the way. I had a question on Twitter earlier, is the Audi a four-wheel drive? No, it's a rear-wheel drive car. So we can hopefully have a quick catch-up with Mike Jordan at Pertec Honda.
Congratulations, Mike. Your boy is the independent champion.
I'm mildly pleased. That's been weeks. The last 2 weeks. Last 2 weeks have been absolute. Just bear with us for a minute. Yeah, safety car in this lap, safety car in this lap. The last 2 weeks have been a nightmare, absolute nightmare. So to get it done, you know, it's a shame for Rob. You see that I think Jason got in the back of Gordon and pushed him into Rob, but you take them all the way. You know, we had a bit of bad luck last time, so fantastic job. The whole team, Pertec Racing, all of our sponsors, Hillwood Autos, Cambridge Business Travel, done a fantastic job, brilliant.
Well done to you all. You've still got work to do, though. Back up to the commentators.
Well done to Pertec Honda, but yeah, still some work to do in this race with Andy Jordan there in 5th position with the 77 car. He's got Jason Plato right on his tail. He's got Gordon Shedden with the Honda Civic right in front of him, but leading this race is still the BMW of Tom Onslow Cole as he appears from underneath the bridge. And hey, an S2000 car, first and second, Tim.
Exactly at the moment as they get ready for the restart. Onslow Cole was struggling with that corner clearway, so he's been trying to find a way of getting round there quickly. He's gone wide, squared it off and used the rear-wheel drive to get a good exit onto the straight. But Aaron Smith looking good as well.
Into Paddock Hill Bend we go again. There is Andy Jordan. He cannot touch the back of that Honda, particularly if it's Gordon Shedden, and it is, as Gordon gets a little bit of opposite lock, and Dan Welch and Nick Foster and Andy Neat have gone off. Dan Welch is going to be in the gravel. He's going to have no chance of getting out of that one. Meanwhile, Aaron Smith leads.
He's gone off, and Newsham's gone off. Newsham's going to hit the wall. Oh!
And they're going to roll it. No, not like Nick Foster at the beginning of the year.
Well, this could be another safety car because we've got a car in the gravel at Paddock Hill Bend in a dangerous place. We've got another car off on the exit coming down. That's Newsham's car. It was a great effort by Aaron Scott to get round the outside of Onslow Cole at Druids and hold the car on the track.
Aaron Smith leads this race. He really has got the bit between his teeth. The youngster comes down the hill. Tom Onslow Cole, look at the lead that the pair of them have got ahead of Matt Neal and Gordon Shedden. They are on it. They are up for their victory. Aaron Smith, of course, up for his first British Touring Car victory. He was on the podium for the first time at Silverstone, and now he is in the mood as the safety car is, unfortunately for these guys, going to be coming back out as we salvage the stricken Newsham and Welch car out of the hedge.
Well, it's great to see these two guys battling at the front. The safety car boards, I can't see them yet, but they must be out soon as they come up towards clearways. They'll probably see them now at the marshal's post on the left. No, still not out yet, so they're racing to the start-finish line. There they are, there's the safety car board. So now they all know. They would have been expecting it because the team managers would have been on the radio to tell them it was coming. So now they'll slow down, but it's going to be a long session under the safety car again with 2 incidents to clear up. But that one of Dave Newsham's looked very nasty for a while.
So there was some drama. If you look on the right-hand side, Dan Welch already being quickly attended to. Fair play to the marshals. On it like Sonic into there to get that thing out. The Proton is just about to be dragged out of the gravel whilst the other Discovery is tending to Dave Newsham. I thought he was going to go over in an exact carbon copy, Tim, of what happened to poor Nick Foster in April.
Yeah, but the tyre wall did a really good job. Right, this is at the back here. There's contact there between Foster and Dan Welch mid-corner, which just puts the cars off. And Andy Neat was just, look at the background, just inadvertently, just sliding with no grip at all, and they just touched, and that was enough to put Dan Welch off, and Neat was completely innocent in that, I think. This is round the outside. This was a pass for the lead, absolutely brilliant by Aaron Smith. And in the background, Newsham gets tagged, goes off. The car will not slow down on the slippery grass, and up it goes on the tyres. But hopefully the damage actually not too bad, I hope, on the back of that, and they may be able to... I couldn't tell whether there was contact or if he got the rear out onto the slippery curbs, or a combination of both, probably. Here we are, here he is, he's on the outside, comes back in, gets a little bit of contact there with Plato.
So, as the safety car is out here at Brands Hatch, we're going to have a quick break. We are back racing here at Brands Hatch. We are just about to complete lap 9 of 18. Aaron Smith leads this race from Tom Onslow Cole, but we're going to have a change of third position, are we? No, it's Gordon Shedden goes through. So yes, Matt Neal lets Gordon Shedden, the championship leader, up onto the podium. There is formation flying by the three Hondas. They're third, they're fourth, they're fifth, and Jason Plato, who's sixth.
Yeah, that was good driving. I mean, Matt didn't defend. He obviously Gordon felt he was quicker and could pass. Don't forget, Matt Neal is carrying the 45 kilos maximum ballast, whereas Gordon Shedden only has 9 kilos. And they know this, and so it's probably better just to let Gordon Shedden go.
As we accelerate hard,
That's Gillian. Gillian, just...
Gordon's wife, great pass there by Frank Rathel. He goes past Jeff Smith. Rathel on an absolute steaming drive on the outside of Surtees as the leaders come over the crest once more. Great race.
Yeah, Jordan side by side with Neal. Neal just struggling a little bit with that extra weight. But and they've still got Plato right behind them. Plato has not lost any distance to these two. We're on board with Jordan, looking at Matt as we come up to Westfield. Just take a little bit of curb. Jordan a little bit of extra curb. Matt cuts back across as they go down Dingledale. Now look how much curb they take here at Sheen Curve. Right over the inside there. Again, Jordan a little bit more aggressive over the curbs. Great to watch through there. Into Sterling's. Use all the camber. Get down on the inside, but not the curb on the exit, or he'll spin the wheels up.
Now, Andrew Jordan, he's got 9 kilos less than Matt Neal in front of him. And Jason Plato, well, he's got no ballast at all with his MG there. The 99 car, he's in 6th position as they come past our commentary position once more and start lap 11. Still leading is Aaron Smith, and Aaron Smith has put a fastest lap of the race in, a 1:44.6. That is very impressive. Only person to be as close to that kind of lap pace is Gordon Shedden, who has been let off the leash really now, Tim. And there you can see it. Look how he has caught up the leading two.
Yeah, he's the quickest Honda on the track at the moment, so that was good team tactics to let him go. It stretches the gap to Plato. Matt Neal is beating Plato at the moment, so he's gaining on that second place in the championship that he wants. So good team driving by the Team Yuasa Honda team.
And one of the BMWs has gone off. Is that Onslow Cole I saw on the outside of Surtees? Is that? It is! Tom Onslow Cole from 2nd position has gone off on the exit of Surtees, and he's losing positions hand over fist, and I think he's going to come back into position about 14th or 15th. So Aaron Smith is now 1st, Gordon Shedden is now 2nd, Matt Neal is now in 3rd position.
Well, that's made it easy for Shedden. That certainly has. I mean, that braking area is incredibly slippery on the approach to Surtees there, and it obviously just caught out Onslow Cole on the braking. That's that's Aaron Smith's girlfriend in the motorbase garage. Wow, I'm not going to tempt fate, but I do love to see a new winner in the BTCC.
Here, and fresh from that first podium at Silverstone as well. But that's the difficult corner. But Gordon Shedden has got the crosshairs lined up on the back of that S2000 Motorbase Ford Focus, the team that's based just up the road here from Brands Hatch. Aaron Smith leads over the line, but Shedden has taken another. There is Matt Neal, then Andrew Jordan, Jason Plato in 5th, and Frank Rathel, who's not only got past Jeff Smith, but has managed to get right on the tail of the MG. He is Mr. Wet Weather, just as we saw at Thruxton.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think actually Matt Neal, believe it or not, is the cork in the bottle here that's just holding these guys up, and they're closing up, and that's purely down to that success ballast that he's carrying. It does make a difference. It does work. That's why we like the system so much. But well, bitter disappointment for Onzo Gold. That's the braking area there where it's very slippery. You can see them using different lines, fingers, toes, everything crossed by Gillian Shedden throughout every lap of every race today. But so far,
that's Williamson and Tom Onslow Cole, who've had a big off into Surtees. They were racing over the line for 13th position, and that's a big moment. Onslow Cole is stricken. The Williamson Honda Civic is left on the outside of Surtees. These guys don't yet know about it, as Andrew Jordan tries to chase down the opportunity to stand on the podium once more here at Brands Hatch. He's in 4th place at the moment. He's only a couple of car lengths behind Matt Neal, and as Tim says, Matt maybe being the cork in the bottle. There's your leader, there's your 2nd place, there's the battle for 3rd.
Yeah, but Shedden was nearly 3/10 of a lap quick on the last lap. We'll see what the gap is this time. No safety car call at the moment, but as they come across the line, Aaron Smith comes across and does a 45.1, and another fastest lap for Shedden, a 44.5, 6/10 chunk taken out of that lead.
Well, let's keep our fingers crossed for the marshals, because Adam Morgan is also involved with that Onslow Cole, with that Williamson tussle. And here's a replay. Look at it. Oh, that's a massive hit, Tim. That's an enormous hit by Adam Morgan. Let's hope he's okay.
And the others were trying to avoid the incident. I mean, you can see how slippery it is. That was the start of it. That was neat. As he come back onto the track, he spears across into Adam Morgan, fires him across the road. The others were trying to get out of the wreckage. Williamson on the left realises he's heading towards him, spins the car into Onslow Cole, who's recovering from earlier spin, and we've got carnage. And that was all caused by Andy Neate coming back onto the track and firing into Morgan. What a disaster.
That's a big, big crash. So still Aaron Smith leads this race here at Brands Hatch. We're not going to have a safety car. They've deemed that the cars are out of the way. And Aaron Smith is leading by 1 1/4 seconds. But Shedden, again, as Tim said before that accident, is putting in fastest lap after fastest lap. He's chasing him down. He did a 1:44.5. That's 6/10 quicker on the last lap than Aaron Smith. Shedden, fair play to him, Tim. He is driving brilliantly.
He is driving brilliantly. We've had no safety car because miraculously all of those cars have actually ended up off the track and the driver's out completely unhurt. So we'll let them come through here and see what the lap times are. I think Smith is responding. He is responding, but it's not enough.
Aaron Smith, 1.1 seconds his lead at the moment, as Matt Neal's family and Gordon Shedden's wife look on. Emotional scenes down there at Team Dynamics. They are 2nd and 3rd. Now then, goodness me, let's catch our breath. Coming into this race, Shedden led by 18 points from Jason Plato, and Matt Neal 20 points back. It's going to be looking very favourable for Team Dynamics when the flag drops in another 3 and a bit laps time. There they go past the accidents and the cars that are left on the side of the racetrack as they come over the crest of the hill once more. Aaron Smith under big pressure. He lost a couple of tenths to Gordon Shedden on that last lap, Tim. Now it's the showdown between an S2000 and an NGTC car.
Yeah, it's going to be down to the tyres do go off at the end of the race, but Shedden, don't forget, he knows he's in a good position. This will be the position as it finishes at the moment, with Shedden 23 points in front of Neal and 25 in front of Plato. I think if my maths is right, if he gets fastest lap, he would be champion.
He's got to keep that fastest lap. You're absolutely right. And even if he doesn't score, and that's it. Yes, he's got to do it. So if he gets the win, what a great way that he could do it. Maybe the team have told him on the radio. Maybe they're going to keep their powder dry. Gillian has run out of fingernails, I think, as she looks up at the screen as we start lap 15 here at Brands Hatch. Don't let's count out how nervous the Motorbase guys are.
Yeah, I think he must have been told. I think the team have worked it out. The team have probably told. Look, they're telling him. They're telling Gillian he'll be champion if the results as it is and he keeps fastest lap, he'll be champion.
Into Druids comes Gordon Shedden. Down the hill he comes. Crikey, let's catch our breath. Matt Neal still in that third place. There is Andy Jordan. Jason Plato in 5th position. Frank Rathel still on his tail in 6th position. Jeff Smith 7th. Matt Jackson, who retired out of the race at race 1 with a broken oil cooler. But now we look into the eyes of maybe the 2012 British Touring Car Championship. You can sense how dark it is out there in the car with the glow of the shift light reflecting into Gordon's eyes. And indeed, Tim, you're on the money as always. He may well have just said, you know what, let's just win the championship rather than risk it.
There's absolutely no point in risking a pass on Aaron Smith, who would be desperate to win his first race. Absolutely desperate. There's no pressure on Shedden from behind. It's very unlikely that a faster lap will be set at this point of the race. We've got some tyre degradation on the track, but you never know. The track can sometimes be quicker. Somebody could pop in and put a quicker lap in. Somebody can come in and put tyres on. You never know. But at the moment, it's looking good.
As they come down to Clearways and into Clark Curve. 3rd position, still safe and sound for Matt Neal. He's looking for 2 podiums out of 2 races here at Brands Hatch. Now there is Matt Jackson just rushing through your shot. He's managed to get ahead of Jeff Smith on that on this lap. Now there is the very NASCAR style looking Rob Austin Audi. There is Ollie Jackson just outside the top 10. He's in 11th position. Andy Neate has managed to keep going after causing that carnage with 3 other cars in the barrier. And Andy Neate is in 12th place.
Yeah, in fairness to Andy Neate, though, coming back off wet grass onto the track, especially when you're as eager to get back on the track as he would have been, very difficult sometimes to control the car.
Yeah, and you know, fogged up screens and difficult to see your mirrors. It sometimes gets a bit steamy in the cars, just as our cameraman is having trouble to pick out these guys as they go through Surtees. We are receiving reports from Team Dynamics that they have said to Gordon, do not risk it, get it home in 2nd place. Now, what's it look like down there in the car? Now it's difficult to concentrate, Tim, when you know it's just...
Yeah, you've just got... The thing is, a moment's hesitation. There's Eddie Hinckley looking very pleased with himself. Thumbs up. Yeah, come on, Eddie. He's been at the helm of many championship successes over the years, previously with TWR and now, of course, with Dynamics. He's the chief engineer there. Oh, Gillian just can't... These last few laps are just anguish, but... She's in the best place they've ever been in his 6-year touring car career.
Well, Aaron Smith, he still leads as he starts the penultimate lap here at Brands Hatch. He's got to keep his cool in the number 5 car, as Aaron's girlfriend is also close to tears down there in the Motorbase garage. Teeters his way around Paddock Hill Bend. He takes the wider line. They've been very careful not to get onto the slippery part of the circuit. I think it may have eased up raining. Maybe not, actually.
Well, Aaron Smith is still the fastest man on the track. He's the only one in the 44s. I think if I was Motorbase, I'd be telling him to just chill, because Shedden won't take any risk behind him, and he only needs to put one wheel on the curb on the exit to go off. This is the break. Now, that's sensible driving. You see Aaron Smith going in slightly earlier, trying to avoid the slippery part of the track. But this is... So, I mean, to get the championship done, Toby, before the final reverse grid race will be a massive relief to Shedden. Massive relief.
Massive relief it will be for Motorbase as well, as Aaron Smith leads here with a lap and a half to go. There's one of the other cars in front of him with pretty well held station, and don't forget Andrew Jordan behind Matt Neal in 4th position. He's got to get it over the line to confirm that he will be the independent champion as well at the end of this race. We have to cast our minds back and remember the cause of the first safety car when Rob Collard got taken off, so he got taken out of that battle.
Yeah, well, just passing Tony Gillam there around the outside, gave him plenty of notice by flashing the lights at him. Gordon doesn't have any kind of a moment coming into this last lap now, so one more lap to be crowned the 2012 British Touring Car Champion. Andrew Jordan to be crowned the 2012 Independence Champion on this last lap.
So then, Aaron Smith on course for victory here, but Gordon Shedden, remember, he's won 8 races out of the 29 that we have had so far, and we've got another one here on ITV4 in a couple of hours' time. Jason Plato's won 6, so Gordon, he's won the most amount of races, Tim. He's had some bad luck. They've all had bad luck as well. It levels out over a season. It's sometimes in cricket a bit like an umpiring decision. It levels out over a summer. But Gordon Shedden, when he's been there in a race, he has been on the podium. There's literally only a handful of times when he's finished a race, he's been off the podium.
Yeah, in my mind, he is the most deserving driver of this championship. I'm so pleased that he's done it, his first championship. He'll have a lump in his throat the size of an apple. And, you know, this is a huge moment for him. I'm so pleased for him, for his family. The first Scottish champion since 1995, and John Cleland, he's paid his dues over the years and, as you say, won the most number of races so far this year. And, well, that says it all.
As he's now just got half a lap to go between himself and the podium. There's tears down there at Team Dynamics. I think that's Richard Tate Harrison. They put so much work into that squad. I know it's a line that we trot out, but there's a real family atmosphere down there with Honda Yuasa Racing. But don't let's take anything away from Aaron Smith, as he's going to win this race for Motorbase with an S2000 car. He's driven brilliantly and maybe a champion for the future. Aaron Smith may win the race here at Brands Hatch, but it's the 33-year-old from Scotland. Gordon Shedden is the 2012 Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Champion. He's done it with Honda. He's on the podium and now they can celebrate. Matt Neal, his teammate, comes across the line a couple of car lengths behind him to make it a Honda 2-3, and Gordon now realises that he's done it.
Oh, the emotion on his face. Oh, brilliant. I mean, this is what motorsport's about. This is why we love the Touring Car Championship. Everybody's involved in it. It's super professional, super passionate, super fun, and oh, congratulations, Gordon. I can hardly speak myself.
Yeah, bit of a tear in our eye up here in the commentary box. It's great to see the emotion of a brand new British Touring Car Champion. He joins the greats, going all the way back to Jack Sears in 1958 when he drove an Austin Westminster. The championship ironically decided here at Brands Hatch.
Yeah, well, wow, he needs to savour this moment, because from the moment he gets out of the car, life will not quite be the same ever again, because, you know, he will forever be referred to as a former British Touring Car Champion, the first possibly of many titles, but it will be it'll be alongside his name forever. Let's see if we can get some reaction from him.
Gordon, it's Toby and Tim. Congratulations, congratulations. You are the 2012 British Touring Car Champion. How does it feel?
Oh man, I can't believe it. I didn't think I was enough points, and the guys just said that's enough. Are we sure?
We are absolutely sure. We are absolutely sure. We saw the look in your eyes when you were told. And what a feeling, what a feeling.
Brilliant. Love it, love it, love it.
Now you can race for race 3, and now you can have a real thrash. The pressure is off, buddy.
Oh God, what a day today's been. Wet weather and a lot happening there. Cannot believe it. What a dream come true. So happy. Thank you, Honda. Thank you, Team Dynamics, and everyone that's helped me make it, because this is just incredible, incredible.
Congratulations from everybody on the ITV crew. Well done.
Thank you.
Tim, what was it like on you when you won the championship at Silverstone and your cooling down lap? Did you have a tear as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, I've got a tear now. Remember it, because it's your life. You put everything into it, and you know, there's so many people behind it. There's so many mixed emotions, you know, that go through your mind, because you know, this is just more than anything, more important than anything.
The race was won by Aaron Smith. What a brilliant victory for Redstone Racing. But Gordon Shedden wrapped up the title with second place ahead of his teammate Matt Neal. Jordan, Plato, Rathall, great drive, Jackson, Smith, Lee Wood and Rob Austin rounding out the top 10. The standings, an unassailable lead of Gordon Shedden with one more race to go ahead of his teammate Matt Neal. Jason Plato, he has now dropped to third position in the title, so it's a Honda 1-2 at the moment with a race to go. Jordan, Collard, who non-scored, Onslow Cole, Jackson, Smith, who comes up ahead of Dave Newsham, and Nick Foster.
Gordon Shedden is the champion. Will it be Matt Neal or Jason Plato who finishes as runner-up? That's the main issue to be resolved in this final race of the touring car season, described by Tim Harvey and Toby Moody.
Thank you, Steve. But first and foremost, thank you, Tim, for guiding me through this first season. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. I've enjoyed every minute of it. We've had some drama. We've had some action. We've had quite a bit of drama today, and quite a bit of emotion as well.
Yeah, well, that is the sport that's the BTCC. That's why I've loved it since 1987 when I had my first drive in it, and I've either driven in or commentated on every race since. And when the race starts, I almost feel like I'm in the race myself.
Let's have a look at the grid as we come up to this final round of 2012. Matt Jackson got pulled out of the hat to take pole position ahead of Frank Rathall. Jason Plato, he's on the second row ahead of Andy Jordan. Matt Neal and Gordon Shedden, the two teammates there on row 3. Row 4, the winner and a brilliant debut British Touring Car Championship victor, Aaron Smith. He's on row 4 with Jeff Smith. Lee Wood, Rob Austin, they are on row 5. Ollie Jackson and Andy Neat are on row 6. Row 7 is Liam Griffin and Nick Foster, Tom Onslow Cole, and then Chris James. Tony Hughes, it's his last British Touring Car Championship race. Fair play to a man who didn't even start racing until he was 47 years old. Aaron Williamson is not going to take the start, too much damage after the second race. So next up it's Tony Gillam from Dave Newsham, Dan Welch, Rob Collard and Will Bratt, who will be starting from the rear of the field after that coming together at Druids. It's continuing to pour with rain here at the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit. It means that, again, Tim, these guys have got to edge themselves into the first lap and a half or so and find their braking points, find the limit of the grip.
Well, they certainly know what the conditions are like. It's not changed throughout the day. No question about tyres. They've gradually been refining their car. There's a man that will be thoroughly enjoying this race, whatever happens. And I'm glad that they've managed to fix Dave Newsham's car and Rob Collard's car to enable them to start at the back. So look for them to come through because they've got quick cars.
Matt Neal and Gordon Shedden sharing the third row of the grid. Gordon Shedden's got 36 kilos of ballast, Matt Neal 27, Andrew Jordan 18, but that man there, Jason Plato, only 9 kilos of ballast. He's in third position, and there's a car in the pit lane. It's Andy Neat, who's come down pit lane in the 44 car, so he's going to have to start at the back of the pack when the race is underway. The man on pole, though, is Matt Jackson in the new Redstone Racing Ford Focus that debuted at Snetterton. Frank Rathall alongside him with the Dynajet Toyota. Then we've got Plato in third. Andrew Jordan with the number 77 Pertec Honda. He's on the outside of the second row. It's very dark. The lights are really shining here at Brands Hatch as the finale is about to get underway here. 15 laps are now go! Good start, fantastic start by Matt Jackson. Frank Rathall's got a lot of work to do. Jason Plato's already up into second position as Rathall has to try and find some space between second and third. No, he doesn't. He goes round the outside. Oh, brilliant driving by the youngster as they come up to Druids for the first time.
Yeah, great start by Jackson, and Rathall was mighty round the outside of Plato and Paddock Bend.
As they come down to Graham Hill Bend for the first time, Ollie Jackson in the Golf is on the dirt, but he's held it all together. There goes Jeff Smith and Rob Austin. There's a bit of bumping and boring. Nick Foster touching the back of the Audi. A bit of German love going on down there as we come up to Surtees.
And Frank Rathall's looking very racy. He's jumped up onto the back of Matt Jackson's car as the field bunches up. Dave Newsham coming up the field very well with Collard behind him, and they've come right from the back.
Dave Newsham on the penultimate row, as his teammate Chris James has had an off already at Surtees. And meanwhile, back at the front, Frank Rathel, Tim, is putting Matt Jackson under massive pressure.
Yeah,
Look at this!
We'd love to see Frank get a podium and, dare I say it, a win. He thoroughly deserves it, and the car looking very good.
Matt Jackson got an awful lot of work as he comes down Dingle Dell for the first time of 15 through Sheen Curve. As they come through the right-hander, now into Stirling's, into the left. There's Plato, he's third. There's Matt Neal, he's fourth. Gordon Shedden, the 2012 British Touring Car champion, he's in fifth place. Then Andy Jordan, he's then in sixth as we come back into the stadium for the first time.
Well, I have to say, our cameraman out on the circuit has done a fantastic job. 8 hours they've been out there in this awful weather. They are the salt of the earth, bringing you these fantastic pictures.
As we cross the line for the first time, it's the Redstone Racing Focus that leads from the Dynajet Toyota from the MG6, the KX Momentum 99 car. Was that a little bit of a problem there for Frank Rathel as he barreled it into Paddock Hill? Are we at Le Mans, Tim? Are we at Le Mans? Where's the barbecue?
I thought it was a night stage on Eppings or something like that, you know, in the RAC Rally. Well, it's not called that anymore, is it? But used to be, and that's it really does resemble that. And, the camera actually makes it look lighter than it is. It's actually darker than that.
As they come up to Surtees for the second time, Matt Jackson, winner only last time out at Silverstone. He won the second of the 3 races there, giving the Motorbase guys some big celebratory champagne. They got that car sorted and to Snetterton. That was round 16. Here we are at round 30, and it's leading.
Yeah, and at the moment, Plato is in third with Neal in fourth. The points differential between that is 2 points, which is exactly the differential between the two drivers.
If there is a tie-break, Matt Neal's got 6 victories so far this year. Jason Plato, 5 if it goes to the tie-break. So that'll be interesting. Then, of course, who sets fastest lap?
Yes, exactly. All these extra points, they really make a difference. Points for leading. Here's Neat back in the pits. Remember, he had that contact that caused that multiple accident, but he still managed to finish the second race, but maybe some lasting damage. Jackson, Matt Jackson, that is, at the front, seems to be getting a feel for it. Here come the Hondas behind Plato. Well, it wouldn't be the British Touring Car Championship finale if we didn't have Matt Neal and Jason Plato with something to fight for.
As we are on board with the 2011 champion, the 3-time British Touring Car champion, chasing the 2-time British Touring Car champion, Jason Plato, down the hill through Paddock Hill Bend. The camera trying to pick out through the murk. Matt Jackson who leads, Frank Rathel second, Jason Plato full, like a rabbit in the headlights, full of main beam from the Honda Civic, looking back at that main beam of Matt Neal. Gordon Shedden behind, and then behind Shedden, Andrew Jordan.
Oh, and he's got to run. Matt Neal's got to run up the inside. This is the chance he's been waiting for. Should be a clean pass. What's happened in the gloom? Yeah, they've both gone through. Both Shedden as well. Oh, they're giving it... Well, it's amazing how much room they're giving each other now the championship's been decided, isn't it?
Frank Rathel is giving Matt Jackson a bit of a hurry-up as he comes down the hill. Look at the spray. You can see it in the headlights piercing through the murk at the front of that Toyota as it chases the Ford. Third is... it's a Honda. It's Matt Neal. Fourth is Jason Plato. Fifth is Gordon Shedden. And now we've got a cork in the bottle because Andy Jordan is building up the pressure.
Yeah, well, Andy Jordan will sit there. He's not going to do anything silly at the moment. He'll let Shedden attack Plato and hope for the opportunity to go through at the same time. But Matt Neal is through, and that would secure the second place in the championship if the positions finish like this.
Looking through the murk with that exterior camera on the Pertex to use that little bit of extra boost, Tim, to come alongside. He might just do it.
Well, they're pretty equal actually on the speed traps at the moment. It's just the superior handling of the Honda through the corners that are allowing them to get a run. You can watch on the exit here. There's not much difference going up the hill.
Oh, Matt Jackson stopped!
Oh, that's Jackson in the new car. Jackson's had another problem, just like he did at Silverstone when he was leading the race.
The leader of the race has retired. There's been another technical problem, and Frank Rathel now leads this race in the Toyota. Here he comes towards us at Surtees. That is a Toyota in there. David Bartram, we won't get a word out of him. What has gone wrong? The lights have gone out, Tim.
Yeah, it looks like the thing has died completely. Well, that's a real shame for Motorbase, for Ford. They've won one race already today with Aaron Smith, and we're going to have Ford back in the paddock next year with the Formula Ford Championship racing here, and can't wait to see that.
Frank Rathall now leads this race ahead of Matt Neal in second place, of Jason Plato up to third, and Gordon Shedden trying to get his foot onto the podium. He just one way then the other. He's up on the inside line to the right hand side, and Jason Plato has to give way. He's trying to then cut back in before Andrew Jordan comes through, but he can't do it.
Yeah, that was exactly what I said Jordan was waiting for Gordon Shedden to get through and give him the opportunity, and the two of them have gone through with no contact at all.
Through Stirlings we come for the fourth time. We are hearing from the ship-to-shore radio, it's a throttle problem. Wasn't that the same thing that happened?
That's exactly the same thing. It was a throttle potentiometer that went wrong at Silverstone when he was leading the race there. So poor Matt Jackson's had two possible wins taken away from him while leading. So very disappointing, but it's nevertheless been a fantastic debut season for that new car built by Motorbase, and let's hope they come back strong next year.
That's Jason Plato. That is Rob Collard, who's had a whack to the rear right. He's coming down the home straight slowly. He's not got the speed as Will Bratt's about to come past him. Oh no, you didn't touch with your teammate. Tom gets sideways. Formation flying between the BMWs, and it just got into the gravel. So actually it's just a bit of a bumper that's been pulled off.
There was contact there, and Dick Bennett at West Surrey won't be very happy about that.
Okay then, Rathall leads by 2.3 seconds at the moment with the Dynajet Toyota. However, Matt Neal in that second place, pretty even Stevens on the last lap time. That's the gap. There's Matt Neal down the bottom of the hill already. Jason Plato has got rid of Gordon Shedden. There's Jeff Smith off. Where is Gordon Shedden gone, as well as Jeff Smith is trying to get that thing fired up? He won't get out of the gravel. Shedden is there ahead. Aaron Smith goes through ahead of Jason Plato, as you were.
Yes.
Sorry, folks.
Yeah. No, that's the battle there with good progress. He's going very well. I don't think we'll get a save. Oh, he has got it out of the gravel. Well, fair play. That's good. I think that must be at Surtees, where we've seen so many cars go off. But here's the opportunity for Frank Rathall. He's got a lead, but can he fight off the might of the two Hondas? Well, three Hondas behind him, the fastest cars on the track so far this weekend. Frank is carrying no weight, and Matt Neal is carrying 27 kilos, so there is a small difference there. We've seen that weight does make a difference to lap times here, but this is a great opportunity for Frank to get his first touring car win on the books, and there wouldn't be a better time to do it than at the final race.
Before you go into the winter, they've got, Andy Jordan has it pushed, just as we saw Matt Neal have a bit of a push a couple of laps ago at the bottom of Graham Hill Bend. That's the kind of view. There's the little river that's running across the racetrack at Surtees. Now as they come down Pilgrim's Drop and then up towards Hawthorne Hill, that is then Gordon Shedden. Then there is Andy Jordan. He's in fourth place.
Yeah, there's nothing like the smell of a victory to bring out the best in the driver, and Frank Rathall set his fastest lap and the fastest lap of the race on the last lap. So I love to see a winner who, when he gets a sniff of a victory, pulls out more from himself, and Frank's doing that right now.
He's going to be under some pressure though from Gordon Shedden. He's done a quick sector time, as well as Jason Plato is under pressure from the Wix Filters Audi of Rob Austin. He's got it liveried up like a NASCAR, and Dave Newsham has managed to get through ahead of Jason Plato. Oh, the weather has not worked out for Triple Eight today.
No, it hasn't, and well, poor Jason, this hasn't been a great meeting for him. You know, he came into it after that fantastic meeting at Silverstone, but the car hasn't been the best in the wet. They haven't got the sweet set up, but he's done his best. He's fought a good fight, well, Newsham's gone past him now from the back of the grid, and as you say, Rob Austin is all over him in that fantastic looking Audi.
Gordon Shedden, who set a fast sector on that last lap, has managed to set the fastest lap of the race now with a 1:45.5 as Jason Plato's dad, his mum, they look on, and those fingers have been crossed, I think, all day, Tim.
Yeah, they have, but it's not necessarily going to be enough, I think, unless Matt Neal has a retirement to secure Jason that much wanted second, at least in the championship. He came into this meeting looking like he had a chance to win it, but Austin's up the inside. Plato's not fighting him. I think Plato's head's down, and he just hasn't got the car. And to be fair, Ian Harrison at Triple H said we haven't given him the car to do the job this weekend.
But they tried everything after the first race. They threw all of their experience, 22 British Touring Car Championship trophies they've got in the workshop back near Silverstone, is it, Tim? And they threw everything in it. Camber, I overheard some conversation between Jason and his crew chief after the first race, and he was trying everything. Certainly wasn't from the lack of trying. That's Dan Welch, who's had an off and decided to take the shortcut back to the pits. Meanwhile, as we come up towards the halfway point, Frank Rathel has a 3.3 second lead in this race. And after the woes of qualifying yesterday, Tim, when they had some finger trouble in the garage, they held their hands up and they said, right, let's get our head down and let's make hay, as it were, whilst the sun's shining. You know what I mean.
I know what you mean, but Matt Neal was an ominous 2.5 tenths quicker on that lap, and there's a long way to go yet before this victory is secured for Frank Rathel, but I'm sure everyone will be hoping he does. He's a very popular character in the paddock, and he's seen another young driver, Aaron Smith, take his first victory as the formation flying Hondas are chasing and hunting him down.
Through Graham Hill Bend comes Gordon Shedden, the fastest man on the track at the moment in that third position. Last lap, 1:45.478, you can see there. Now, Neal has done a 46.0, 0.6 of a second slower, and Frank Rathel has done a lap time 0.8 of a second slower. So Shedden is the man on the move.
And just remember, Shedden, although he has won the championship this weekend, he's still yet to win a race on this circuit. So that would be a nice way to finish his weekend, wouldn't it? If he could get his first victory on the Brands Grand Prix circuit.
Yep, Jason Plato has taken 7 victories, and in the current crop, Matt Neal has had 2 victories here. Sorry, 3 now.
3 now.
After his one this morning. Tom Onslow, Matt Jackson, Rob Collard have had a singleton victory as well. As we come up towards Stirling's, the Hondas through here in the dry were absolutely mighty. Andrew Jordan was hustling it through the left-hander in free practice yesterday like a demon, but he's stuck in 4th position at the moment, as Tim said, behind the formation trio of the 2012 Honda Civics.
That's as the championship would stand at the moment, with Shedden confirmed as champion, Neal 22 points back, Plato 33 points back in 3rd place. That's how it would stand if the positions finish at the moment.
Frank Rathel Sr. is in charge of the Dynajet Toyota squad that's running Frank Rathel Jr. at the head of this field, and he's certainly got on the radio and said to Junior, you better get a wriggle on, because Matt Neal's putting in some lap times, and Rathel has responded. He's gone 0.4 quicker on that last lap.
Yeah, that was a big lap for Rathel to put that stem that sort of tide, and I tell you why. It's because Neal's got his mirrors full of Shedden and he's starting to look behind him rather than looking forwards, and that's just slowed him up a little bit.
So then, they're the 2 Hondas. Tim was saying that Shedden is on the move.
The only thing is, just to interrupt, I don't think Neal will pass. Sorry, I was going to say they need to help Neal secure the 2nd place. So in a way, it would make sense for Shedden not to attack him, to give Neal the maximum points.
As Lee Wood goes or has a nibble to see if he can get past Jason Plato. Plato currently in 8th position, and Lee Wood, cruelly robbed of a podium at Snetterton with a gearbox problem in August, is trying to finish off the season on a high and see if he can pass the former champion.
No, I don't think Jason will be enjoying this race one bit. You know, he's gradually gone backwards, and he's been passed by cars that started at the back of the field, and it's never a nice way to race. He will be doing everything he can and everything that's available to him, but actually racing and going backwards is never a nice feeling.
No, not at all. And likewise, Frank Rathel He's the one who's flying. He's already been underneath our commentary position. He's put another half a second into Matt Neal as Lee Wood jinks to our left-hand side, to Jason Plato's right as they go side by side down the home straight. The Vector, the S2000 Vectra, the S2000 car, into Paddock Hill Bend, and the Vectra's there, and the MG has to let the number 43 through, or does he, up to Druids? I think a bit of vis-a-vis about to unravel here, and it does.
Well, Jason's, he's still racing, for every place he's got.
Down the hill, out of Druids. Ollie Jackson learning some different lines from these two, as the 43 tries to take a tighter line, but he won't quite be able to get on the power as they go up to Surtees. Has he just got his nose in front? It might just work. And he's through there, is he? But can he get the power on? Plato's experience again coming to the fore.
Well, Plato knows there's good grip on the outside, and also Lee Wood's being very respectful there of the former champion and didn't run him off the road. A lot of drivers might well have done that, but I'm sure Lee's enjoying racing with the great Jason Plato.
Jason Plato, 74 British touring car victories to his name. The 45-year-old hasn't quite got the car underneath him, not through the lack of trying by Triple Eight. They did all that they could. A very late deal at the beginning of the year, and then they announced it at Autosport International, and then the momentum, no pun intended, then got going, and they literally had a shakedown before the opening round of the championship here back in April, and they ended up coming away with a winner's trophy from that very first weekend. That, to me, Tim, was ultra impressive, and it showed the experience and depth that they have at Triple Eight.
Yeah, it was, because if you remember at the start of that meeting, the car looked really awful, and Jason was absolutely driving the team forward with technical changes, and won a race by the end of the day, and that was we knew then we had a championship on our hands.
What a great feeling it must be when you know at the beginning of the season that you've got a car underneath you that could take you through. But we haven't had a race as wet as this. We had a bit of a damp Thruxton, but it was nowhere near as wet as this. Tim, I think you were at Donington Park in '93. Renault leading and winning the race.
Yeah, that was a pretty slippery event, and it was great. The first and only win for the Renault 19. May it rest in peace.
I'm sure that's not quite what you said at the time.
No, I probably said my Renault was the most wonderful car I'd ever driven in my whole entire life. But I had my fingers crossed behind my back.
Oh, well, it was... you were amongst the gods that day, Tim. We remember it well. And as Gordon Shedden said after winning the championship after race 2, he went to Knockhill and he used to watch John Cledden, and it got him into motorsport, let alone British Touring Car Championship racing. And it inspired so many people during that era, let alone the RS 500s. But anyway, we digress. Frank Rathel leads this race by nearly 4 seconds. He's stemming the tide with Matt Neal behind him. Gordon Shedden then in 3rd, Jordan 4th, Aaron Smith in 5th. Newsham going well, personal best lap on the last lap. He's in 6th, ahead of Rob Austin, and then that Plato Wood, Ollie Jackson battle to finish out the top 10.
Well, I'm absolutely praying for that Dynajet Toyota to hang together. The team re-engineered and rebuilt that car. It's a very different animal from the first NGTC Toyota Avensis we saw last year. That very much is the team's own car, and they've worked and worked and worked on it all year, and I'm praying he doesn't get that leader's jinx that we've seen in a couple of races at Silverstone and here. Here's on board with Andrew Jordan, and see the look at that. See how dark it is, very dark indeed. So that's through nearly a full 360 there from on board with Andrew Jordan.
There he is, Andrew. He's tucked into 4th position, and the Pertec Racing Honda squad are on course to wrap up the Independence Team Championship after Andrew wrapped up the Independence Trophy at the end of race 2. So our champions, Gordon Shedden, Honda Team Dynamics, and then Honda Yuasa Racing, Andrew Jordan, and maybe it looks as if it's going to be going to Pertec Honda for the Independent. So it's looking, Tim, if you're in a Honda, you win in 2012.
Yeah, absolutely. And who knows what next year holds with new cars and new drivers and you know, the moment this race finishes, the focus will be all about next year, and there'll be lots of talk and lots of action, but I'm sure we're going to have a fantastic year to look forward to next year.
As we come down the hill into Clearways through Clark Curve, we're on board with Andrew Jordan in 4th position. Podium just tantalisingly close in front of us, just 0.6 of a second, in fact it is, to the rear bumper of Gordon Shedden's car.
The only thing is there's nothing to gain for any of these 3 guys. They need to ensure that Neil finishes where he does, and with 2 cars, and well, several cars between him and Plato, it ensures that he gets that 2nd place. Nobody wants to have any damage to repair if they don't at the end of this race. They've all won different things, and I think they will just literally stroke it home to the finish, which is great news for Frank Raffel, actually, who still enjoys his 3.3 second lead.
And you can hear how difficult it is through Graham Hill Bend. You could hear the wheels spinning up on Matt Neal's Honda Civic as we look back and we go out into the woods here on the Grand Prix circuit. Raffel leads by those 3.3 seconds. Then Neil, Shedden, Jordan, Hondas 2nd, 3rd and 4th as we plunge down the hill. They can carry some speed. It's quite an uphill corner through there. Don't take the curb. The Clios were taking it during their race and dragging half of the countryside back onto the racetrack, but I think it's so wet, it's so slippery, it makes not a jot of difference now.
No, this is on ball again with Jordan going down Dingledale, down 1 gear, chuck it in before you see the curb, and then over the curb and right out to the edge of the road before diving in tight. He's looking quite racy, Andrew Jordan, I have to say, but I think he just wants to show that he's as good as the 2 works Hondas in front of him.
And how much can you see even with the wipers going? We saw the onboard shot, but it was quite low down. Is it difficult to chuck it into a corner that you can't see with this amount of mist and dark?
Yeah, well, it is difficult to see. You're getting more. Look at the flashing in his eyes. That's the rev limiter on the dashboard telling him to change gear. And it just shows how dark it is in there.
Yeah, as they come down the hill, we've now just got 2 more laps remaining in this 2012 championship. Frank Raffel, he has got that 4.3 second lead, but more importantly for Andrew Jordan in that 4th position, he will be taking the Independence Team Trophy as well, the flag.
Yeah, at the moment, Pertec are 9 points ahead of Redstone, which is the Motorbase team, and that's why Dave Bartram was so crestfallen, because obviously the Motorbase car was leading with Jackson, which would have helped him enormously in that championship.
Okay, through the murk again they come. I must give another shout out to the marshals who have been out on track since 9:30 this morning when we actually had the action unfolding here. We had a couple of races on the Brands Hatch circuit before we even came on air at 10:30. It was pretty dark and dingy then, and now it's going to be very wet indeed for those guys as they make their way back to their cars. Gillian Shedden, she maybe has had some tears of joy already celebrating with her husband Gordon after that championship was wrapped up.
Yeah, interestingly, Onslow Cole in the BMW down in 11th place has just set the fastest lap, so the conditions obviously working quite well for the BMW just at the moment. They're in between wet and greasy at the moment, but it's certainly working well on his car.
Now we come onto the home straight for the last time here, and as we cross the line, it's the last lap that is started by Frank Raffel. He's got a lead of 5.3 seconds. There is Tom Onslow Cole, fastest man on the racetrack on the last lap. He's in 11th position. No, he's into 10th position because he's got ahead of Ollie Jackson. That 10th will be logged as he crosses the line now. And he's got 2.5 seconds to try and catch up with Lee Wood in front of him. Onslow Cole, fastest lap of the race still.
Yeah, but the man who's going to be enjoying this last lap is that man there, Frank Raffel, and his whole team. Thoroughly deserved victory, his first in the British Touring Car Championship, just like in the previous race with Aaron Smith, an absolute talent who deserves a long career in the British Touring Car Championship, and a great reward for all the hard work they've put in over the last 2 years. There's the team, look, Oh, you've got more emotion.
Brilliant.
This championship keeps delivering it.
Absolutely, and we love new winners. We've had 2 new winners today here, Tim, with Aaron Smith winning the second race. Frank Rathall, the 2010 champion in the Ginetta G50 Championship. He had 5 victories that year. And hey, Dynajet are going to win at Brands Hatch for the second weekend on the trot because they make Shaky Burns engines. Who went on to win all 3 races in the British Superbike Championship here just 7 days ago. But the 26-year-old who was brought up around motorcycles said, no, I want to go car racing. And Frank Rathall, the 26-year-old, is about to take his first British Touring Car Championship victory. He flashes his lights. They are on the pit wall. Fantastic for the Dynajet Toyota squad. A brilliant run. And it's formation flying for Honda as they cross the line, with Matt Neal, Gordon Shedden and Andrew Jordan, who have been the saviour of the Honda Civics this year. Aaron Smith gets 5th, Newsham, then Rob Austin, and then it's Jason Plato across the line in 8th position. Try as he may, the valiant drive over 3 races that Jason Plato has done here today, but the weather conditions just didn't go his way, unfortunately. It was not to be. But there's even more emotion here, Tim, and that's great to see with the very, very family-run effort. It's his dad, Frank Senior, who is there hugging one of the engineers. There'll be some celebrations late into the night with them,
and thoroughly deserved. What a great way to finish the year, with a new champion, 2 new race winners, emotion up and down the paddock. There's Mike Jordan talking to Andrew. Lovely team finish there for the Hondas across the line, and well, some great stories from this year, and I'm already looking forward to next.
And Pertec have won the Independence Team Championship. Andrew Jordan, with the victory that he had at Snetterton, has assisted them all the way, and he's driven brilliantly. But the man who has taken the plaudits in this 3rd and final race here at a very wet Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit has been Frank Rathall. What a brilliant drive by the Lancashire lads. And a star, and I believe at least a future British touring car champion. He's got the cool head. He's not a flapper. He doesn't do a windmill in the garage with his arms. He is a man that we are going to have to keep an eye on, and Gordon Shedden's going to have to keep an eye on as the defending British touring car champion next season into 2013. He can do his last couple of miles on this cooling down lap and savouring the season that has unfolded from Brands Hatch to Donington, Thruxton, Alton Park Croft, Snetterton, Knockhill, his home racetrack, the damp at Rockingham, Silverstone, and then here at Brands Hatch. They spend a lot of time with each other, Matt Neal and Gordon Shedden. I believe Gordon's sort of taken over the spare room at Matt Neal's house in Worcestershire. He's back and forth to the workshop in Pershore so regularly he decides to stay with his teammate. Frank Rathall takes his first British Touring Car Championship victory with the Dynajet Toyota, and he wins it 7 seconds ahead of Matt Neal, Gordon Shedden and Andrew Jordan. Aaron Smith, a bit of a lonely race for him in 5th, but he's had a tremendous finish to the season. Dave Newsham went well in that race. He got ahead of Rob Austin. Jason Plato, try as he may, it wasn't quite to be, unfortunately. Here this weekend, the weather not the MG's friend. He bagged 8th after a race-long battle with Lee Wood. Tom Onslow Cole did bag the fastest lap of the race. He'll get an extra point for that. Ollie Jackson, Will Bratt, Nick Foster, Liam Griffin and Tony Hughes. He scored a point in his last British Touring Car Championship race with the Speedworks Toyota. Well done, sir. The final Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship standings for 2012 are as follows. Gordon Shedden is the champion, and it's a Honda 1-2 with mate Matt Neal just 21 points behind. Jason Plato ahead of his teammate Tom Onslow Cole, but it's Frank Rathall